COVID infection at Barking Abbey. Today's first scheduled game, Barking Abbey versus Worthing Thunder, has had to be postponed. So the second fixture of the game, which we are now looking at, is between Essex Rebels and the home team, the team Solent Kestrels. I'm Jerry Merrill and I'm here with Ryan Payne.
Hi everybody.
Hi Ryan, how are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, very good. We're looking forward to another game at the arena to see what we're in store for today.
Absolutely. I think last week, with the two games last week, a chance to see all four teams in this group in action, and certainly a lot of rustiness. I think you'd have to say, but also a lot of potential. I think Barking Abbey, who unfortunately, as we say, haven't been able to make it today, certainly were a force to be reckoned with in their game against Kestrels.
Yeah, certainly lifted our eyebrows. We didn't expect a performance like that last week against a competent team from Kestrels, who obviously didn't lose at all last year. So yeah, we were surprised, to say the least, that they came out and put in that kind of performance. Hopefully they can continue it.
Yes, and I think there's some interesting matchups for Kestrels again today, with Ethan Price in the lineup for Essex Rebels today, and Kane Van Heiningen also in the lineup for Rebels, brings some height against Kestrels, who, let's face it, aren't the biggest team in Division 1.
Yeah, absolutely. So it'll be a nice test for some of the Kestrel bigs, obviously Travis and Jonathan Lashley, who, great players, but not necessarily the tallest in the division. So, it'd be interesting to see how they deal with that.
Indeed. Today's lineups for the game, for Kestrels at 00 Smith, number 4 Zorlan Jackman, number 6 Elias Porman, number 7 and captain Elliot Dadds, 8 Brendan Okoronkwo, 9 Luke Gosney, number 10 Andre Arasol, 11 Luke Bazumbru, number 12 Travis Charles, 13 Chris Scarlett and 14 Jonathan Lashley. And for the Essex Rebels, number 1 Ben Winter, number 2 Ethan Price, number 3 Wes Moore, 4 Sam Newman, number 5 and captain Tom Child. At 7 we have Jordan Gray, number 8 Andre Lavinia, number 9 is Yassine Naji, number 10 the other Winter, Rory Winter, number 11 we have Matthew Disu, number 14 Tyler Muti-Masangago, and number 25, as we said, Kane Van Heiningen. So looking forward to see how they match up against Kestrels today, and if Kestrels are able to step up their game.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Obviously, Essex came up from Division 2 last year. I watched them play against our second division team, and they were highly impressive, particularly on the perimeter. Team's slightly different. They've a couple of guys missing from what I saw last year, and added a few other players. Certainly some size to obviously match up in Division 1. But let's see what they can come up with against this competent Kestrels team.
Yeah, just under 4.5 minutes to go here at the SSC, and what I have to say is a very cold SSC. With all the COVID restrictions and things, not able to have the central heating come air conditioning on. So yeah, long sleeves definitely the order of the day. I'm interested, Ryan, as it's something that we've talked about before. We mentioned it last week about levels of preparation, pre-game preparation and things like that, into how well teams prepared, how well teams scout other teams and things. And, all games are available on YouTube now, and it's sort of quite easy to sit down and watch those and pick up what's going on. But I know, just looking at the two benches, Essex Rebels with their coach on the bench, a lone figure, and Kestrels on the bench, their coach, assistant coach, and also their performance analyst, all seem to still be working and discussing the upcoming game. Yeah,
and we talked about that last week, where Matt Guyman gets his advantages with his preparation. There's no other coach, certainly that I've been involved with, that prepares the way that he does for games and gets his team ready from a strategic point of view better than him. As the referee's just called the 3-minute warning, so we're getting ready for game time now.
Indeed, it's great to have basketball happening. Regrettable that we don't get the full atmosphere with the crowd and things here at this fantastic facility at Solent University. But we have a game on, and that's the main thing. And through the benefits of technology and Basketball England's YouTube channel, you can actually sit in the comfort of your home in somewhere that's a lot warmer than it is here, and hopefully enjoy the game.
Yeah, it's certainly something that, knowing how cold it is here, you might prefer it to be back at home. The guys will probably miss the atmosphere that the crowd brings, I'm sure, but unfortunately not able to do that at the moment.
So we're just about 90 seconds away from tip-off now. Both teams on the sidelines just taking their final instructions from the coach, doing their final preparations.
Yeah, I think we'll look for the Kestrel team to really push the tempo early and challenge this new coming Essex team, to see if we can force some turnovers, get out in transition, and really build some momentum into the season for this team.
That's right. Yeah, it'd be nice if all of the or some of the rustiness from last week has gone, and Kestrel were able to come out, play at a higher tempo and also more efficiently than they did last week. And I think it'll be. I'm really looking forward to the two potentially different styles of play today, with Essex Rebels, although a lot less experienced, having some height inside against the smaller but quicker and more experienced Kestrels. Starting five for Kestrels: Smith, Jackman, Dads, Okoronkwo and Charles.
Yeah, same starting five as last week. Didn't really expect to see anything different, barring injury. So
for Essex, we've got Van Heiningen, Tom Child, Sam Newman, Jordan Gray,
Rory Winter.
and Rory Winter. Yeah, I was just checking which one it was. And both sides now going to take the knee, still respecting Black Lives Matter movement. Okay, that's all the preliminaries over and done with. Here we go. Game time at the SSC. Home team, Team Solent Kestrels. I was going to say with the home advantage. I'm not sure how much advantage it is actually without the crowd here.
Well, they certainly practice on the court, so that'll give them an advantage.
Absolutely, and fantastic court it is. Basketball only, as you can see. Basketball only lines. Essex with the first possession of the game. Interesting to see Van Heiningen beyond the three-point line. Sam Newman on the drive, taking it inside with the fadeaway. Doesn't quite get the drop. Okoronkwo with the rebound. Kestrels with a chance to push the tempo.
Straight to Dads in the post. Feel like, you know, Matt's done that in the past, putting him in a bigger match-up against a smaller guard, seeing if they can get an advantage out of it. Gave him a wide-open uncontested shot on that one.
Yeah, Ian Smith draining the three, nothing but net. Jordan Gray at the other end beats Okoronkwo, taking it to the hole for two. Good play on the last offense by Dads, backing his man down. And Okoronkwo again posting his man, smaller man up inside, unable to get it to go.
Yeah, nice set play, ducking by Brendan there, just missed the finish. But two easy looks inside for Kestrels. Got to be concerning for the Essex coach.
Kestrel's bench all up in anticipation of Okoronkwo taking the three. Jackman outside for three, won't go. Travis Charles, last man to touch the ball. Essex ball on their end line.
Sit down over here so I can see. Another drive to the strong hand there. Travis came across and gone with the body, I believe. Two shots for can't see who's at the line. Sorry, Tom Child.
Rebels with the early 1 point lead. Ian Smith ghosting between the defenders for the layup for two.
Yeah, split the hedge on the screen. Great move, heady play. And certainly not one we saw from him last week.
Certainly Kestrel's looking to build some tempo at the defensive end. Okoronkwo getting in the lane there, knocking the ball out of bounds.
Another right-hand drive to the hoop. You don't see that 3 times in a row very often for this team, and they're not going to last very long if they continue to give up those types of looks.
Orlan Jackman just
Overpowering
Tom Child, didn't he? Just backs him down. It's going to be a long day for Tom Child if he's got to guard Orlan Jackman for the game.
Yeah, it's a mismatch that he's going to have to take advantage of. And
Travis Charles uncharacteristically missing the foul line jumper. Offensive rebound. Ian Smith outside, absolutely drains it. Kestrel's out to a 4-point lead, 10-6, just over 7 minutes remaining in the first. Nice move by Jordan Gray to get inside.
Great step through. Obviously didn't put his pivot foot back down, and great finish, great touch.
Travis Charles, mid-range jumper, it's good.
That's a sentence I feel like we might be saying a lot over the course of this season.
Van Hanegem, baseline.
Really nice move.
Nice move, can't quite
Offensive
get
rebound.
the finish. Tom Child off the iron, Okoronkwo with the rebound. Ian Smith with the pretty move behind the back. Tom Child called for the blocking foul.
Questioning what the call was for. I think he possibly might have been in the restricted circle. Seemed okay with it when the referee explained whatever it was. So on we go. And Ian with 10 points already in the first quarter.
Just the point I was going to make, complete reversal of last week, where he hardly took a shot in the first 3 quarters of the game. Looking to get going early and get active. Tom Child going to the basket. Rejected by Orlan Jackman. Van Hanegem getting good offensive position. Getting the rebound and the putback. Nice right-handed little hook there.
It looked like Travis came across to try and challenge the drive and left his man open to the offensive board.
Sam Newman pushing it. Winter fakes Smith out the way. Nails the 3. Essex bringing it back to a 1-point game. Foul called on the penetration.
That's one of those calls where the offensive team preferred they didn't have it. Jackman made the curl cut on the baseline drive and wide open. Would have been 2 points. Now they've got to earn it from the baseline play.
Ian Smith taking the bump from Van Hanegem, maintaining the focus, getting the reward, getting the 2. Halfway through the first quarter, Kestrel 16, Rebels 13. Van Hanegem looking to go to work down low against Travis Charles. 5 seconds left on the shot clock.
Looked like
Good
Brendan
defense.
got a piece of it.
I've missed the substitution there, but Andre Aerosol
Came in for Jackman,
came in for Jackman, didn't he? I missed that. And making his presence felt quickly, getting to the line to shoot 2. I was impressed with him last week, I have to say.
Yeah, he was high energy, had a couple of nice drives to the basket, didn't have his finishing touch available to him last week, didn't finish many of those plays, but you could see the potential in him. And in fairness to him, not everyone had their finishing touch last week with the rust being shaken off. But obviously being aggressive straight off the catch today, first catch of the game, goes straight to the basket, draws a foul, gets himself to the line.
Luke Brazimbru into the game for Kestrels as well. So
yeah, you've
Kestrels
got
looking
a
to-
fast, high
Yeah.
tempo offensive team in there now.
good dig in there by Aerosol. Elliot Dad's getting to the ball. I've been impressed so far with the tempo of Kestrel's defence, with the exception of a couple of simple penetration and drives and scores early on for Essex. Generally, especially on the perimeter, they've defended really well.
Yeah, and in fairness to Essex, they've played some really nice basketball out of it. So they've handled the pressure quite well and got in themselves around the rim. They're not taking contested shots all the time. They've had a couple of really easy ones. So dealt with the pressure quite well.
So case in point there, last trip down for Essex. Nice roll inside by Van Hanegem, getting the easy drop in for two. Travis Charles can't get it to go for Kestrels.
Yeah, defended well. Didn't get anywhere with his post up.
Tough shot by Jordan Gray.
Yeah.
Foul called on Ian Smith.
There's a bailout foul. I didn't see whether he caught him on the elbow or not. It looked contested, but right at the end of the shot clock, putting him on the line for two.
Frustrating.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure the referee had the best angle to make that call either from up top. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Jordan Gray knocks the first free throw down.
And we could see some pressure here from Essex because they've got their two guards up on the lineup for the free throws, and they might extend. So they were showing a zone press because they didn't make the free throw. Couldn't really set it up properly.
Good work by Travis Charles at the offensive boards. Ian Smith, shot won't go this time.
Great rebound.
Oh.
Oh, but a turnover. Costly one.
More subs coming for both teams. Van Hanegem to the bench for Rebels. Yassine Nadji checking in. And Orlan Jackman checking back in for... Oh, and John Lashley both checking in for Kestrels.
Uh-oh, got the switch they wanted here.
If they can get the ball to him. Oh, no need. Luke Brazumburu turns on the afterburners, blows by his man, baseline. 2 points, too strong, too quick. Good defense by Lashley there.
Good extra pass.
I like the fact that
Tough.
Kestrels aren't settling for the open three. They're determined to take it inside and
Yeah, well,
Get
they
the
had
simpler shot.
great ball movement. They got the ball to Aerosol on the break. They had to maintain on him. Swung the ball extra pass to Luke, and he drives to the basket and has a tough finish because he got hit pretty hard. Finished with the left hand.
2:16 remaining. Ian Smith taking a break. He goes to the bench with 12 points out of Kestrel's 20. Chris Scarlett checking into the game. Good D by Winter.
Took
Try-
a couple of steps to gather his feet. Sorry to interrupt you, Jerry. I'm sure you were saying the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's the saw Orlan Jackman coming, the size and the reach of that, and trying to get his feet sorted out quickly to make the shot. John Lashley making it look simple off the Brazumburu assist. Essex just passes not quite going straight to hand. Another example there, another turnover.
here. And this is what we talked about last week.
Yeah, Brazumburu with the steal, coast to coast, draws the foul.
Yeah, they're dynamite when they turn teams over. They're so difficult to maintain on. Last week, Barking Abbey had a little flurry of turnovers and layups in the third quarter, but really, did a good job of looking after the ball and not letting them get out into transition. This has already been opened up by Kestrels early. They got to make a stand now, Rebels, to make sure they get a shot every time down, not turn it over. It's going to be tough against this, quick defense that Kestrels like to play, pressure up and switch when they can on small matchups.
Yeah, 9-point margin as well in what's a relatively low-scoring quarter. With just over a minute to go, you'd have to say it's quite a significant lead at this point.
Decent challenge underneath, made Lashley miss.
Yeah, Yassine Naji pleading that Andre Arisol was inside the restricted area. I think we've got a bird's eye view of that one. He's quite clearly outside.
He was in great position, caught the ball and just ran him over.
Last minute of the first quarter. Kestrel slowing it down, trying to make sure they get a score. Inside to Jackman. Oh, Rory Winter taking a Jackman elbow to the face there.
And got the pleasure of being called for a foul at the same time. Shaking it off there.
No such thing as a concussion check yet in basketball.
No.
He is taking coaches taking Winter to the bench though.
Could have a bit of blood possibly. Unfortunate maybe to get that call against him. Was high elbows from Jackman, but there was body contact as well. It depends on which one happened first, I guess.
Yeah. Ethan Price, meanwhile, into the game for Essex. Outstanding prospect. Ethan Price bringing some height to the Essex team. Shot clock and game clock almost equal. Tom Child checking the clock. Downtown for the three, won't get it to go. Bazumbu gonna have to put it up. Oh, short, but draws the foul. Puts up the shot with 2 seconds remaining. Shot clock and game clock were actually identical. So 2 seconds on the game clock and the shot clock after these free throws.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the case. I think that 2 minutes possibly might be the break in the game. And that two might be the break in the quarter. It's the end of the quarter.
Of course. Yeah, you're right, Ryan. Sorry, it's 2 minutes, isn't it? Not 2 seconds. Yeah, quite correct. That's the end of the first quarter. Kestrels with an 11-point lead, 27-16. Leading scorers in the game. Ian Smith has 12. Luke Bazumbu has 7. Jordan Gray 5. Rory Winter 5. And Kane Van Hanegem 4. That's an interesting line right there, just showing Solent's reliance on Ian Smith in this first quarter for the scoring. Travis Charles leading all rebounders with 3 rebounds. Okoronkwo, Newman and Van Hanegem with 2. And Ian Smith with 1. Sam Newman leads the assists with 3 assists. Orland Jackman and Brendan Okoronkwo with a block apiece.
Yeah, and for me, the telling stat so far in the game is Kestrels have got 1 turnover against Rebels 6. We said it last week, and we've said it already this week. If you let these guys turn you over and get into transition game, it's very difficult to stay with them, and we've seen that already in the first quarter of a 11-point lead for Kestrels.
And the turnovers seem to come in sort of 2 clusters really for Essex, didn't they? So sort of Kestrels allowed to get a bit of momentum.
Yeah, and that tends to be the way that Kestrels operate. They feed off their own defensive energy. If they turn out into offense on the other end, it just feeds back into their defense again, and it's hard to dig you out of that downward spiral if you're the opposing team, as a lot of teams found out last year.
Yeah, Kestrel shooting at an efficient 66% from 2-point land, 40% from 3-point range. They'll be a bit disappointed with their 55% from the foul line, only 5 from 9. Essex got a major difference in the stats there, 41% from 2-point territory. As we get the second quarter underway, Andre Arisol straight to the rack, blocked emphatically and simply by Ethan Price.
Yeah, it was a great defensive play.
Again, turnover. Luke Bazumbru with the basket. Tom Child being called for the trip.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was unfortunate on that call, to be honest. He tried to get out of the way. He knew he was beat. Did clip him with his foot, and possibly it could have had an impact on it. But, if I'm the coach in either one of those teams, I just want that not called. And Matt was trying to call for an unsportsmanlike, but that's not going to happen. It was the last player, defender, so probably by the rule book it's correct, but I just want to see that play on and let Luke get the 2 points and get down the other end.
Absolutely, it did look like he was trying to get out of the way. I know that doesn't mean it's not a foul, but
no, absolutely not. There was a tough shot there by number 7, Jordan Gray, contested. Barely drew iron. They need to get quality offense now and not give this Kestrels team even more
spotting
confidence.
Up for 3. His first bucket of the game.
And it's been blown open.
That could spell a very difficult passage of play for Essex.
Yeah, because they've had so much at the rim so far. A lot in transition, but a lot at the rim. And if Chris starts hitting from outside, it's going to open up even more driving lanes for some of their more athletic players. Another turnover here. A jump ball.
It's going to stay with Essex on the possession arrow, but good hustle, good intensity from Kestrels. Tom Child with nowhere to go. Just going to mop the floor briefly, so brief delay of the game.
Can't be any sweat of how cold it is in this gym.
And in fact, it doesn't look like there was. He hadn't actually wiped anything up.
Great pass. Oh, great block by Jackman.
Andre Arisol off to the races.
Great decision by Arisol, bringing it back. Didn't have anything on the drive. Chris couldn't knock it down. Good contest as well.
Yeah, good read from Bazumbru inside as they try to go to Ethan Price, cutting baseline.
Yeah, Andre Arisol just overthrew him a little bit there. Tried to throw it into the space for him to run on through, but it was just a little bit too far.
Arisol coming away with the steal. Drawing the foul. Ethan Price doing a good job of following through, making sure he doesn't get the basket.
I think they called a travel. I didn't see that personally.
No.
It looked like he just took a controlled step, but they called him for a travel.
Yep, didn't see that either. Coach Guyman's clearly warmed up himself now. The jacket's come off. Just got the jumper and the long sleeve shirt on now.
Familiar look.
Absolutely. Yassine Nadji inside, can't get it to go.
Yeah, they had him. They had Chris Scarlett guarding him for about 20 seconds of the possession.
Doesn't look good for Okoronkwo under the Kestrel's basket. Took a bit of a tumble. Looks like he came down somebody else's foot, rolled his ankle. Yeah, he's going to go to the bench. Elliot Dadd's going to check back into the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the sort of rule is about that. Whether if they have to stop the game for an injury, they have to come out. But he's walked off. He's come out unassisted. I should think he'll probably come back into the game shortly.
Kestrel's now with a physio as part of their bench, so that's a smart move, and Okoronkwo will be able to get some immediate treatment, which is good news. Meanwhile, Orlan Jackman trying to go reverse under the basket, getting fouled.
Yeah, by Nadji. It looked to me like he played pretty, solid defense there. Didn't go for any of the fakes. Just maintained his position. Forced Jackman underneath the basket. The referee said he wasn't vertical when the contact happened, but for me that looked like a reasonable defensive play. And Yassine Nadji going to the bench with his third foul of the game. And you can see some frustration on the Rebels, faces and their body language, because they've got about 10 fouls called on them against 2 for Kestrels. And all the turnovers are being created by Kestrel's pressure. So
I was going to say, it's not like you could say it's because Kestrels aren't playing defence. That's why the fouls aren't being called. Jordan Gray not even drawing iron on that shot. I was just thinking, Ryan, it's interesting.
I think that was Lavinia, wasn't it?
Oh, I beg your pardon, yes, yeah. I was just...
Tough shot by Ian Smith. Pull up off the dribble, off the pick and roll against a big guy. Sorry, you were saying, Jerry?
I know, I was just thinking, Ryan, that, we talked about preparation and stuff like that early on, and, Sam Newman, hasn't made any impact on this game whatsoever so far. And, a player of his quality, Kestrels have really closed him out.
And Matt's come up with a game plan to limit his touches where he wants to get them, but they've obviously executed it well. It's one thing having a game plan, you've still got to execute it. But again, they came down the other end, had wide open 3 on that last possession, made it.
Oh. John Lashley with the ball falling into his hands there, alert enough to grab it and stick it in.
Yeah, and in Newman's defence, I think he's got Elliot Dadd's guarding him.
Yeah,
he's one of the better defenders in the league.
Nice pass.
Great pass.
Van Hannigan underneath with the flush.
Lashley with a tough turnaround. 20-point lead.
Chris Scarlett called for the foul. Lavinia unable to finish on this occasion. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
And a rare huddle so far for Kestrels. I haven't had either the opportunity or the need so far.
Luke Gosney checks in for Chris Scarlett. Degree of frustration on Rebels coach's face as well as Van Hanegem gets bundled out of bounds. Ian Smith with the step back, can't get it to go. Luke Gosney rebounding underneath the basket, electing to kick it out rather than go up.
Great fake by Travis, give him a freeze back, completely lost him with his footwork, drew another foul.
Really been noticeable how Travis Charles has improved his footwork since he first came over to this country. This is his third season now with Kestrels, and certainly the start of last season, very apparent how much work he put in over the off-season in developing that aspect of his game. You're just making a good point there, Ryan. Looking at the stats about the turnovers, and it being a combination not only of them of Essex throwing the ball away, but also of steals from the defensive pressure that Kestrels are exerting. And with the score at Kestrels 41, Rebels 22.
Yeah, I think that they've got 9
dangerous.
turnovers according to the stats we can see. 5 of them have been stolen by Kestrels, and I would say at least 4 of them have ended up in layups. Some of them were and ones. So that's the game right there so far. They just need to. Rebels just need to take better care of the ball, get a quality shot every time down. It's always easier said than done. But that's what they've got to look to do, and I'm sure that's what their coach has been telling them.
Mismatch inside if they can make the most of it. Dad's on Ethan Price for a short moment. Van Hanegem using his strength and size inside to get the score and 1.
Yeah, and it was great execution. They ran the pick and roll, got the switch that they wanted, reversed the ball back, lift fake, got the defender in the air, and then Van Hanegem's wide open against Sally at Dad's. Great finish.
For those of you who are perhaps new to the game or relatively new to the game, if you're fouled in the act of shooting and you score, you get 1 extra free throw. If you're fouled when you're shooting and you don't score, then you get the opportunity to still get 2 points with 2 free throws. Gosney outside. Another turnover.
And they're off to the races again.
Ben Winter getting up in the air with nowhere to go. throws it away. Luke Gosney, the recipient of it on this occasion, his first points of the game.
And Matt Guyman urging Ian Smith to get up and pressure Lavinia, perhaps thinking that he's not able to cope with the defensive pressure and nearly turned it over there.
I think you're exactly right, Ryan. He looked keen to make the pass. Sam Newman, his man, having a hand in the lane, not really being open.
All could be offense.
Yeah, good D by Luke Gosney.
Yeah, got him out of control. Could have either been an offensive foul or a travel. The ref called a travel. Either way, it was not a good offensive possession.
Zimbabwe losing the handle on that occasion.
Yeah, it was excellent defense. Maintained.
Nice pass by Lavinia. Van Hannigan on the cut to the basket. Uncontested too. Ian Smith with the hesitation.
He's so tough on those hesitation drives to his strong hand. Taken from someone with experience, it's tough to keep him under control when he gets that nice fake by Lavinia.
Yeah, Lavinia, Dad's flying by. Lavinia nails the three.
Way to clear boards by Van Hannigan.
Again, unable to get up a good shot under the pressure from Ian Smith. Van Hannigan rejecting Luke Gosney at the other end.
Been very active this quarter. Couple of deep catches inside with finishes, couple of key rebounds, and then a big block there.
Yeah, he's having a really good game this week. Certainly looked sharper than last week. Sweet inbounds play there from Kestrels. Can't get the ball to drop though. Under pressure from Ian Smith, with hand in the face, still managing to knock it down.
And Matt's seen enough, wants a timeout, lead down to 13, and the pendulum has swung a little bit back in favour of Essex Rebels.
Absolutely. Couple of stops at the defensive end, couple of breaks, so they've been able to make the three-point shot on. A little bit of patience, not forcing it up.
Yep. And they haven't had the turnovers the last 2 or 3 minutes that we saw earlier that allowed Kestrels to get into the lead. They got some quality baskets and quality play, and then they've had some performances. So we question Lavinia's ability to deal with the pressure, and he's responded with 2 big threes for this team, getting back in the game.
Indeed, they seem to. I don't know if perhaps it's still pre-season. Obviously, only the second game of pre-season. Fitness is a little bit of an issue still, and perhaps Kestrel's just slowing down a little bit on the defensive intensity, and Essex having a little bit more freedom, perhaps, or if they've just got into a bit of a better rhythm.
Yeah. I think it's a game of runs. Kestrel's made theirs and got themselves a lead, and Essex have now started to make one of their own. I also think that there's a bit of feeling out with Matt with some new guys to come and try and get his lineups in there to figure out which lineups work together. But credit to Essex Rebels, they've responded to a big punch in the stomach to start the game, and they clearly aren't going away.
Gosney way off with the three. Ian Smith looking inside options. Luke Gosney will have another go. Short this time on the three.
Yeah, two way short. He's seemed like either they're playing a zone against them or have completely helped off of Luke Gosney. He's going to need to hit that shot for them to to stay competitive offensively.
Winter going baseline. Called for the treble. And Orland Jackman, in fact, comes back into the game for Luke Gosney. An interesting point you're making, Ryan, about Coach Guyman still trying to work out who's going to click with who and who's going to work well with who. For me, Orland Jackman, I was really excited about the signing pre-season, but he doesn't seem to have quite fitted into the rhythm of the offence yet.
Yeah, and I think there's probably, a bit of working into shape and working to find your chemistry with the guys that, completely new set of guys that he's, never played with before. He's shown signs of he clearly knows how to play basketball. As we see a physical match-up between the two sets.
Shoulder into Van Hannigan there. Travis Charles giving some help defence there. Sam Newman way downtown. Haven't seen made a mark on the game. Big bucket.
Yeah, strong end to the quarter by Essex Rebels. Still a 14-point game?
14-point game, yeah. It looked in danger at one point in that second quarter of being 22, 25 point lead.
Yeah.
So Essex have done really well.
Yeah, and certainly the last 3 or 4 minutes of play, that's how Essex need to look to execute for the rest of the game to work themselves back in. It's not going to happen in 1 or 2 possessions. They've got to get stops and get quality offense down the other end, and they can work themselves back into the game.
Yeah, kind of just looking at some of the other stats, Kestrel's 10 points off the fast break. Essex just the 3 points off the break. Scoring more second chance points than Kestrel's. But again, points in the paint shows, Kestrel's 28, Essex 16. Bench points for Kestrel's, as you would probably expect, to be fair. Outscoring Essex 22-7 coming off the bench.
Yeah, and it just really is, the stat that screams out is the turnovers. That has been the difference in the game so far. That you can look at the shooting percentages and those kind of things, but the reason why Solent are shooting so well from the field is because they're getting out in transition and shooting shots at the rim. If you're going to turn the ball over 12 times and a half against Solent Kestrels, you're asking for trouble, and that's been proven to be correct so far. Let's see if they can tidy it up in the second half and work themselves back into the game.
Indeed. So with 12 and a half minutes to go of half time, we're going to take a break and look forward to welcoming you back for the second half of this Team Solent Kestrels versus Essex Rebels L Lynch trophy fixture. Chance for everybody to get a cup of tea or whatever at home, and
see
we'll
you
be back soon.
is your biggest inspiration?
I'm here filming the Soviet Union.
BBC South Today's Tony Husband!
Who is your biggest inspiration?
I'm here filming the Soviet Union.
BBC South Today's Tony Husband!
This afternoon's L Lynch Trophy game, second week of games. This fixture between Essex Rebels and Team St Kestrels. Game in progress. Kestrels 49, Rebels 35 at half time. And we were just talking about some of the leading contributors to the game so far, and talking about Kane Van Hanegem and his all-round contribution.
Yeah, he shot a really good percentage, and he's a leading rebounder in the game. I think he was a dominant force inside for him. One of the only ones they had in the first half. And it'll be interesting to see how him and Travis continue that battle through the rest of the game. Because obviously Travis is great from the mid-range. Van Hanegem's great finishing around the basket, and with the rebounds, blocked a shot pretty convincingly. It's going to be a fun matchup to watch.
Absolutely. See if Van Hanegem gets some support from Ethan Price at both ends of the floor. Ethan Price already had a little bit of an impact at the defensive end, just with his size, changing some shots and generally getting in the way and making a bit of a nuisance of himself at the defensive end. But see if he can get some. See if Coach Norfolk can get some contribution out of him at the offensive end in the second half.
And then for Kestrels, Matt's going to want to see more tempo defensively and offensively. That's how they bring their strengths out into the fold. Get out in transition, create easy opportunities for multiple players. That's going to be the tail of the game. If they're able to continue like they did in the first half, you're going to give them a potential 100-point day. It's difficult to stay with them. So we'll see how Essex respond.
Good to see Brendan Okoronkwo checking back into the game. Obviously no ill effects from that little ankle injury he suffered.
As Ian Smith curls around and hits a three. Great start for Kestrels, and 19 points for Ian Smith. It's got to be encouraging for the coaching team here after a mediocre point scoring game last week.
Aerosol getting the steal from Ethan Price. Auden Chapman being set up on the break by Aerosol. He's able to finish and draws the foul.
Has really good touch around the basket. There's a couple of times now that he's had some contact. He's shifted the ball from one side to the other and still maintain the concentration to finish.
That's right, that experience that he's able to bring.
And Aerosol extending pressure up the court. Really challenging, getting his head in line with the ball, And a tough finish. We're questioning that call where the foul was. It looked like pretty tough defense to me. Maybe a little bit over aggressive.
Yeah, just on the last 2 or 3 steps, wasn't it? Looked like Tom Child had just perhaps got his shoulder ahead of him. Tough call though. Great defense all the way down the floor. Quick
Yeah,
feet.
absolutely.
As you said, head in line with the ball the whole time. And Andre Arsov still having the ongoing discussion with the referee.
Yeah, as I probably would too. I wouldn't have been happy with that call if I was the defensive player, but we just got to move on.
Andre Arsov taking the bump off the hip of Ethan Price.
Yeah, eyes lit up, saw the mismatch, drove middle and just took a bump. Aggressive move though.
Here's the matchup you were talking about, Ryan. Travis
It's
Charles
already
against Van
very
Hanegem.
physical.
Yeah.
Van Hanegem gave him a bit of a shove on the first catch. Trav kicked it back out. Obviously drew the attention of the referee on the first time round, and then he wasn't going to get away with it a second time.
Van Hanegem, when the whistle blew, he had a quick look up at the scoreboard to see what the foul situation was. He goes to 3. And sure enough,
Yeah,
Coach Norfolk pulling him out of the game.
encouraging shot there by Arsov as he's challenging up the court again.
Nice patience. Tom Child getting a nice screen from Muti Masanagro, setting him up for the 3.
Yeah, but if you're Coach Norfolk, you don't want to see your point guard dribbling the ball for 20 seconds of an offense and then pulling up a bank 3 off of a pick and roll. You want to see the ball moving.
Absolutely. Ian Smith called for the foul at the offensive end.
But this is another interesting matchup with Arsov obviously pressuring the ball, making him turn. He hasn't been shaken by the pressure so far, so we'll see how he deals with it. Nice drive.
Jordan Gray taking Okoronkwo off the dribble.
And we see the frustration from Kestrels, but these are the same calls that they were getting in the first half. The foul count completely in Kestrel's favour up till now, and suddenly the tide's turning, and they need to keep their composure. They've had their turn, now it's Essex turn. They just need to keep their composure, execute, and keep their hands out of situations and keep the other team off the free throw line.
Jordan Gray makes one of the 2. 17-point game. Nice post up by Oren Jackman. Good strength inside, patience, couple of fakes. Gets Ethan Price out the way for the 2.
Excellent defense by Brendan, cut him off.
Ian Smith off to the races. Not many people in this league are going to catch up with him once he gets to step on you.
If he gets his shoulders or hips in front of you, it's over. Another great stand by Brendan. Defensive.
Steal.
Timeout. Brendan signalling timeout to the other team. You need one. And this is what makes Brendan Okoronkwo one of the better guards in the English league. Just total all-round player. And when he turns it on defensively, he's such a big body, such good feet. Smaller guards will struggle with, to deal with that kind of pressure because of the length, because of the physicality. And on top of that, he's got all the technique to go along with it. And has been a premier player in this league for a long time now, and we've been lucky to have him the last season and a bit.
Indeed, when he arrived, he certainly brought a different dimension, different look, especially at the defensive end. Equally capable at the offensive end. I recall some games last season where he was the guy with the hot hand from three, and was obviously MVP at the National League Cup final as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I went with the team to a game against Thames Valley, and he took the challenge of guarding Martel Macklemore, held him well below his season average at the time, and every time he came back into the huddle, he was asking, what his shooting percentage was, what Martel's points total was. He was adamant that he was gonna shut him down, and you can see that attitude in what he's doing right now.
Tough defensive outfit on the floor for Kestrels now.
Yeah, even with no Luke Bazumbru, no Elliot Dadds, who I consider one of the better defenders in the league, and they're still challenging every pass, every dribble. Big rebound there.
Jordan Gray. Jordan Gray using his body to good effect under the basket.
And that's what Essex needs to do when Kestrel's up their pressure and try and force turnovers, stay composed, get a shot at a basket, get yourselves inside position, because there will be people out of position for rebounds, and you can take advantage of those easy second chances.
Nice screen from Aerosol, allowing Charles to the foul line for his favourite jump shot.
Deep three from Ian Smith. Brendan, give and go. Drew two guys to him. Ian Smith wide open, hits it back for the guy with a hot hand. 24 points now.
Great hustle for Ian Smith. Losing the ball, getting back after it, finds the open man. Aerosol drains the three. Jackman in defensive transition.
And Matt calling for transition. Go, go, go. Another huge three.
Yeah, Coach Graham calling for the pressure.
Matt knows this thing can build in waves. This is the team that he wants to see. Up the pressure, force turnovers, force tough misses, get out in transition. The three-point shots fall in, they're tough to stay with.
Just looking like a little bit of the structure has gone from Rebels' game at the moment.
Lots of threes going up with no success. And they're off in transition again out of free play.
Orland Chapman with the mismatch on Sam Newman. Oh, can't let it go. quite corral the rebound either.
Subs coming in. Welcome whistle for Coach Norfolk there. Get some changes in without having to call a timeout, settle his team down a little bit.
Winter for 3 in the corner. Much needed points for Essex Rebels.
We've got John Lashley with the mismatch.
And 1. Rory Winter's second foul of the game sends Lashley to the line for the bonus. All of a sudden it's a 31-point game. Kestrel 78, Rebels 47.
And that really is the danger of the three-point shot, which isn't always, you know, Solent Kestrel's best weapon. Another great defensive play by Aerosol.
Sam Newman not quite being able to keep up with him, being called for the foul. Yeah, live and die by the 3 was the saying when the three-point line first came in, wasn't it? Still true, I guess.
But certainly when you have the momentum and you've picked that defensive lead, you get a little bit more clear space. And obviously they've used it to their advantage here with Aerosol hitting a couple of big ones, Ian Smith hitting a long one earlier. And it's just blown the game open.
Aerosol into double figures now with 10.
I've been really impressed with him today. Standout performer for me. Certainly in the second half so far. I mean, Ian's shot the ball great in the first half and controlled the game. Luke was dynamite off the bench, but you know, in the first half. But Aerosol again pressuring the ball up.
Zumbia with the defensive pressure on this occasion. Settling for the desperation 3. Okoronkwo out on the break from Dads. Count it. And maintaining pressure.
Another turnover.
Rebound.
Was there a turnover? No.
No, not quite able to stay in bounds. So foot was just over the line when he threw it back in.
And Matt's just taken out Andre Aerosol and brought in Chris Scarlett. Now they're struggling to get the ball in bounds.
Ethan Price, what can he do underneath? John Lashley, good pressure. Lashley putting in the efforts to get down in the offensive end.
Scarlett wide open on the three-point line.
Bank it.
Yeah, you can't give him that much space. You know, even on his worst day, he's going to knock that shot down more often than not.
Nice piece of aggression from Rory Winter at the offensive end, taking his man to the bucket.
Brendan questioning the call. His teammates saying not to worry, huddle up, trying to any technical or anything like that will just take away from their momentum at the moment, and that, you know, they've clearly got all of it with a huge lead. So they're 38 points now.
think Brendan, one of those players around the league that referees will listen to him. You know, he's
Absolutely.
well-respected player. He doesn't query things in an aggressive way. Yeah, questioning clarification.
Yeah, we only saw one bit of pressure from this team in the first half, and it was pretty much the same result last time. They hit middle. This one was a swing across to the weak side. Chris Scarlett's wide open, so dangerous in transition.
And Bazumbu's going to take it to the hole now. The Kestrel's getting the whole game going inside and outside, transition as well.
And the questions about whether or not they'd shaken the rust off and worked themselves back into shape have been answered a little bit. Another foul called on Brendan for a push.
Yeah, just got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, didn't he?
Yeah, he's very physical around the pick and rolls and any like off the ball screens, trying to create himself a bit of space. Used his arm bar a little bit to create himself a gap, and the referee called him for it.
Luke Gosney getting ready to check back into the game. I do feel for these guys sat on the bench that aren't getting a lot of court time, with it being so cold here at the SSC. Difficult to come straight back in and have an impact.
I always liked it in a cold gym. I always preferred a cold gym to a warm one, but I'm not sure how I would cope with this.
It's cold as it's cold. John Lashley not going to get away with that one. Mutimus and Agro getting defensive position.
Yeah, took the hit right in the chest, knocked him back. As a defensive player, you want to see that call get made.
But indeed, with the full court pressure on Tom Child now.
Getting head in line with the ball, cutting him off. Great cover by Lashley.
Chris Scarlett
Textbook drop help there. Got beat. Dropped to cover the next pass. Ooh, could have been a travel there.
Great move. And Sam Newman getting past Elliot Dadds, doing his best to cut him off.
Could tell that Elliot was going to try to go for the reach from behind to try and knock it away, and just manoeuvred his body to protect it. Went for the reverse. No help side defense there by Kestrel.
Luke Gosney keeping the ball alive for John Lashley to finish. Good level of activity on the offensive glass there by Luke Gosney. Luke Bazumbu there to pick the...
Again, great positional defense. Knew he was coming down for the try and make the baseline pass and just cut it off.
As we go into the final break of the game, 41-point lead now for Team 7 Kestrels. Interesting to see how they play this last quarter, with it being still pre-season, whether they're going to keep the pressure on or whether Coach Guyman's going to see if he can run some set plays and get some of the newer people of the team some more court time.
Yeah, I think he'll probably try and rotate a few guys in there, get everyone some minutes now. Result pretty much decided. I would be surprised if everyone doesn't see some minutes now to get them fully embedded into this season. But they'll try out some stuff defensively and offensively. Matt's not the type of coach to take the foot off the gas and let a team back into a game. But but you can see he's not changing his lineup. He's kept the same guys seemingly in there. So, you know, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, Ian Smith looks like he's going to start the last quarter on the bench, leading all scorers to 24. Luke Bazumbru, seemingly unnoticed, gets to 13 points. John Lashley and Andre Arisol with 11 apiece. Orland Jackman with 10 for the Kestrels. For Essex, Rory Winter with 13. Kane Van Heiningen with 10. Jordan Gray and Tom Chard with 8 apiece. And Andre Lavinia with 7. Sorry,
Yeah.
Ryan.
I was just going to say, I don't think it's a coincidence that that lead got extended when Van Heiningen was on the bench. You know, as soon as he went out with the third foul, the lead got extended. No inside presence, no rebounding, no rim protection. But you know, kept him off the bench, kept him off the court to start the fourth quarter. Perhaps the coaches decided to give his bench guys a look to see if they can create some momentum moving forwards in the season, as a 40-point deficit already, not going to overcome that in one quarter. Great cover by Gosney, good hands by Dads, and they're off to the races again.
Gosney not quite being able to convert the lob from Chris Scarlett.
Great pass by Lavinia.
Dad's almost getting the steal. John Lashley trying his luck with the 3. No good. Coach Garman again calling for his team to keep up the intensity and keep going. Rory Winter drawing the foul. What's the call going to be? Was it before the shot? No. In the act of shooting. Basket's good.
Yeah, continuation there. Bazumburu got him with the body a little bit, bumped him off his line, and it's probably a cheap call in most games, but it has been what they've been calling for most of this one. So they've stayed consistent with it, and Kestrels have got to make the adjustment. Can't be physical when they're going into their last couple of steps to the basket.
Elliot Goddard on the floor mopping duties today. Elliot, of course, named as Young Volunteer of the Year by Basketball England fairly recently.
Yeah, I mean, he gets involved in absolutely everything. Coaching, managing, and then coming in here and mopping the floor during game day. Incredible personality to have in your club, and an asset.
Good work from John Lashley on the offensive end. Sam Newman getting completely out of position, nowhere to go. Mass substitutions now for...
Rare 5-for-5 sub coming on.
Reminds me of playing at school.
Yeah. But manipulated the rosters or the lineups just enough so that he's got starters on both ends. So he's got starters coming in for both teams.
And Elias Pullman checking in for his first taste of action today for Kestrels. Arisol, nothing but net from three-point land.
Had a great game.
Again.
Great deflection and save.
Matthew Daisu over the top of Travis Charles. Trying to get on the offensive boards there.
Yeah, he was unlucky. He got his hand to the ball, but looked like he came down and hit Travis on the back of the head. Kept the ball alive. He gave his team a chance for a second possession, but unfortunately got called for the foul.
Ian Smith with a quick first step, long second step, getting ahead of his defender, getting the layup. Van Hannigan back into the game for Essex Rebels.
Aerosol forces another turnover.
And Smith with another layup. Timeout being called. Kestrel's 97, Rebels 53. Still a long 7.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, and it's a 100-point day already with 7.5 minutes to go. This is the team that we saw a lot of last year, pushing it into the 3-figure mark, and then shutting teams down on the other end, not just making it a shooting competition. If this is the team we're going to see moving forwards, we've got to expect to see some impressive games moving forwards in this competition and beyond.
I agree, Ryan. I think conversations that you and I have been having and things off air and things. The league does look, from what we've seen so far in this group, certainly the league looks potentially more competitive than it was last year. But then you get a game like this, and all of a sudden it's blown wide open.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the teams that were in the division last year have on the paper strengthened their lineups. So it's going to be interesting to see, how that presents itself. But this is a brand new team in the division. This is their first taste of Division 1 basketball. It's a bit of a baptism by fire for them because this team didn't lose last year. Until apart from one game in the trophy final against Newcastle Eagles. They did lose to Bristol in the second fixture as well at Flyers home arena. But in Division 1 they didn't lose at all. It's a tough team, and to come in and
and to be fair, in that final they had a shot to win the game.
Yeah, very easily could have won it.
Rebels with another turnover on the inbounds pass.
And the Bristol game.
Really.
Yeah, and the Bristol game as well. They already had such a high points differential for the return fixture. It was kind of a non-entity really. Bristol were going to have to win by so many for it to make a difference to the game. Nice finish.
Nice finish from young Ben Winter on Jackman.
Yeah, with the reach in.
Being called for the reach-in foul.
And again, that's the same call that Luke got in the first half. Not necessarily a trip, but into the steps, bit of contact. Refs have stayed consistent on it. There's really no point questioning the call.
Is that part of a basketball player's DNA? We're always going to question the call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oren Jackman clearly getting a bit rattled by the call at the defensive end, showing what he can do.
Yeah, switched hands again. Went to the left. Great finish. And if I was the Essex coach, I wouldn't be looking to press this team. They've shown 3 times now. You press them up the court. They hit middle, or it just opens the floor up to them the other end.
Yeah. Again, Oren Jackman's experience going straight to that middle spot to make the easy pass out of any trap that may have been coming. A good defence from Jackman as well, making the turnover happen. Smith outside for Aerosol
made the
for
pass
the
to
three.
Aerosol for the 3, but he was stepped
out
out of
of
lines.
bounds.
Stepped out of bounds. And Arisol still denying up the court, pressuring. As a coach, you love to see that. Doesn't care about what the situation in the game is. This is the way that I play defense, and that's what gets me onto the team. That's what I'm here for. Great finish, by Lavinia.
Well, that's Pullman. What's that? Second, third touch of the game? Nails the 3.
Yep.
Nice setup again from Ian Smith, though. Arisol chasing down the long rebound. Smith on the break and 1. Just blowing by Lavinia. Bit of contact. Tom Child not being able to get any contact on the rim. Matt Guyman still not.
Still coaching up on the sideline.
Yeah.
Rebound chased down by Child.
Yeah, the help defense from Kestrel's almost relentless when you think back to those 2 or 3 layups that Essex Rebels got in the first quarter when there was no help. Clearly adjustments have been made. People have dialed in.
Yeah, they haven't given up those direct drives to the hoop the same way. Even when they have got shots at the basket, it's been contested.
Essex coming the other way.
Great hands by Arisol again, I believe. Deflected it. Great pass. Oh.
Gosney not quite being able to handle the no look from Arisol. That'll be tipped out of bounds by Ben Winter. Kestrel's American duo going to the bench. Elliot Dadds and John Lashley back into the game. We've
talked a lot about Arisol in this game and how sort of impactful he's been. It's kind of overshadowed how great Ian Smith's been in this game. That's a great move by Arisol again, commentator's nightmare.
And I think the fact that when Ian Smith's not on the court and Arisol is, there's barely a let up.
Yeah, pace. Absolutely. Great hands
from Pullman. This time, Luke Gosney getting the
finish.
Alley-oop to drop, yeah. Alley-oop, pass off the backboard, whatever you want to call it.
Matt doing something. I don't know how to describe it, but he's put Elliot Dadds into the game as he's the only one on the team sheet that hasn't scored a basket or scored any points. I don't think he would have come in any other way. And obviously now going to the free throw line.
Yeah. Who thought we'd been saying with 3.5 minutes to go, Elliot Dadds on the line to get his first points of the game? But his defensive contribution and other stuff that he does around the court is immense.
Got to make the free throws. Got to make the free throws. But Elliott's, can score, will score, but his value is measured in other ways, as any coach will tell you.
And finally,
But Ian Smith, we were talking about, obviously 30 points, 75% from the field, 80% from 3, 7 assists, 4 steals. Just a really impressive game. Has Essex still firing, still playing their brand of basketball? Great rebound by Gosney.
Good contest under the basket there. Andre Aerosol with the baseline drive and the pass inside. 3 Kestrels players queuing up to get it. Getting well on his way, I think, in the end.
Not great spacing on that one for the black team.
Aerosol to the bench for a well-earned rest. For Scarlett back into the game. Elias Poorman getting the defensive position this time, giving it up to Lashley. Oh, can't get it to drop. Poorman.
He was unlucky there, I think.
Yeah, going for the steal. Good hustle on the offensive boards. Takes Kestrels to 14 fouls. John Lashley come away with steal. Elliot Dadds, we were just talking about his contribution other than scoring, getting great defensive position there outside the restricted area, taking the charge.
Yeah, it's one of those calls that I'm always conflicted about. Ball's already gone, been passed, but offensive players not in really in like direct play anymore. But arguably defensively, if you get taken out by someone running out of control, you cannot then contest the next pass or the next rebound or whatever. So ran him over, got called for the offensive foul. And Elliott's probably one of the best players in the league at taking them. Bit ragged, out of control at the moment.
Rory Winter, his brother's assist, can't get it to drop. Second effort, can't get that to go.
Good stand by Chris Scarlett there, making him miss.
Nice
Good pass.
Elias Poorman, John Lashley underneath for the 2.
Contested and then blocked by Elliot Dadds.
Matt Guyman still urging them on to get down the floor in transition, way off from Poorman. Kestrels get the ball back. Defense reading that one. And Essex momentarily had 3-on-1. Getting the ball ahead to Tom Child, who draws the foul. Last minute of the game, Kestrel's up 113 to 58, make that 59. Ian Smith leading all scorers with 30 points. Rory Winter leading Essex Rebels with 15.
Another great pass by Poorman. Over the shoulder, drew 2 defenders, found Lashley wide open underneath the basket. He's impressed in the little court time he's had.
Yeah, he seems to have settled into it, doesn't he? Which is great to see. Jordan Gray getting up for the 2 inside. John Lashley, little head fake, jab step. Gets his defender out of his line of sight, makes the 2. And looks like Essex Rebels going to dribble it out.
Yeah, disparity in the
seconds.
clock though, so would probably be a fraction of a second left on the game clock after the shot clock expires. Nope.
No.
Both.
They managed to work it well. Okay, well, what a game we've seen here at Solent Sports Complex. Sadly, only 1 game of 2 able to be fulfilled today due to COVID impact. You can see the frustration on some of the Essex Rebels players at the scoreline and feeling disappointed in their performance. But Ryan, it was always going to be tough, I think, as the new team into this division, up against a team that has quite clearly started to find their feet in this game.
Yeah, they've rounded into some shape this week from what we saw last week. Maybe shook off a bit of rust as we talked about earlier, and looked dominant for much of the game today with their defense and then execution at the offensive end.
Yeah, indeed, all round good performance from Kestrels that I think the coaching staff are going to be much happier with than they were after the game last week. Yeah,
absolutely. There's certainly a lot less questions to be asked about this performance than there was last week. Certainly, Ian Smith answered a lot of questions that we had about him being in playing shape or having some issues with his scoring. Obviously, did a great job distributing the ball last week, but he was electric from minute 1. So I think he scored 12 in the first quarter.
Yep.
And continued for much of the game in relatively limited minutes for him. And then Andre Aerosol was incredible defensively, and then igniting the fast break situation, which is exactly where Matt and this Kestrels team want to be.
Exactly. So that brings a close to today's broadcast from Solent Sports Complex. Thank you to the in-house Sonar TV production team for their magnificent camera work. Thanks to you, Ryan. Great to be here with you as usual. And thanks to everybody for watching. And look forward to week 3 next week, and hopefully a full week of fixtures. In the meantime, stay safe, everybody, and stay well.
Take care, everyone.
Take care.